The whole thing in general is silly. Why are we doing the national anthem before sports games? It's an entertainment event. Do we go to the movies and see the national anthem played before the movies? Does the national anthem play before your favorite TV show? Before Game of Thrones comes on Sundays, is HBO playing the national anthem? It seems like an odd place.
I think it would be funny if people did start doing that.
We should start doing it so people can realize how silly it is.
It's pretty okay.
But when it all comes down to it, everybody getting their panties in a wad, them sitting isn't affecting you. It's not affecting your family. It's not affecting the game that's going to be played after the anthem.
And it's not disrespecting anybody. I don't like the fact that people say it's disrespect, because disrespect, for the most part, I think is intent. And the intent is not to disrespect. People have a strong association with the national anthem, with the military. I understand it was a song written in the time of war. However, there are a lot of military supporters that like Colin Kaepernick for what he did, especially black men. The black men in the military are buying that jersey like crazy because they understand there's a moral dilemma with being a black person who fights for a country that doesn't fight for you. Think about that. It's crazy. As a black man signing up for the military, you're signing your life away to possibly die for people who won't die for you, which is a crazy thing in itself. And a lot of people brought up Marshawn Lynch for the protest. And this is the funny thing here. That's why I didn't mention his name. I just said Michael Bennett, and I talked about Chris Long. From everything I know, Marshawn Lynch is not protesting. Marshawn Lynch is a Rosa Parks situation where Rosa Parks was just tired one day and she decided not to get up, give her her seat on the bus. Marshawn Lynch has never stood for the national anthem for his entire career, as far as I know. And he's usually in the back getting treatment or getting his ankles taped up or something like that. He just happened, so the camera happened to see him, or maybe he's making himself seen now on purpose. I don't know, but I don't think he's protesting. He's just being Marshawn Lynch, and he's like, I don't want to stand up right now. I'm going to sit down.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny that people think that he's protesting. The whole thing in general is silly. Why are we doing the national anthem before sports games? It's an entertainment event. Do we go to the movies and see the national anthem played before the movies? Does the national anthem play before your favorite TV show? Before Game of Thrones comes on Sundays, is HBO playing the national anthem? It seems like an odd place.
I think it would be funny if people did start doing that.
We should start doing it so people can realize how silly it is.
Just start standing up every time.
Dude, just look around. Next time you're probably, someone listening to this is going to go to a high school football game next week. Look around to how many people do not take the national anthem seriously and tell me why you're only getting mad at the black people. Like, I don't understand it. It's the national anthem is, let me say this. Let me be honest. NFL players used to not even come out for the national anthem. They're only doing it because the military started paying the NFL for them to come out and be seen. They used to be still in the locker room when the anthem was played. They're paying for the players to be seen so they can get recruitment up for their services. That's one thing that people probably didn't know. Another thing, as a black man, with all this going on, when you actually read the history of the national anthem and you see that Star Spangled Banner, that song, the Francis Scott Key song, what that next verse was that we don't recite anymore, and the connection with that song to slavery and to blacks being forced to fight in wars as property, I now feel so conflicted. And I still stand for the national anthem, just basically because I don't want to cause a scene. But I can tell you right now, as a black man, I feel ashamed every time I stand for the national anthem because it's not for me. It was not written for me. And if you go and read that next verse, and I'm not going to do it, you'll see why it wasn't written for me. And I feel like a traitor every time I stand up because it's not. When I think of America, I think of all these great cultures coming together and being great together and being a melting pot. And that song is one of the most un-American things that we've ever recited in this country. And I think it's ridiculous. And every time I stand up, in the back of my head, I feel like I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be doing this because this song was not written for me. It does not mean anything for me. And it's a very tough situation to be in, especially as a guy who coaches young kids. Like, I don't want them to see me sit or kneel during the national anthem and then they start doing it. I don't want to be that influence. It needs to be their decision, something they talk to their parents about. But me personally, I feel ashamed every time I stand for it.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. You can run and tell my city I'm on, I'm on, I'm on, I'm on, I'm on, I'm on. tell my city it's